Taken 2 is the sequel to the first Taken, and in this one, the people from the original are out for revenge, and Liam Neeson has to protect himself and his family from those seeking revenge against him. I remember being in the office of Ted Galliano here at Fox with John Larson and Craig Hennigan and myself, and we were just talking about the Dolby Atmos system and installing it here at the Zanuck. And Ted had seen Taken 2, obviously, it's going to be a Fox release, and his initial reaction was this would be a really cool movie for the Atmos format. And he looked into it, and the next thing I knew, maybe a week later, I got the call, hey, do you want to do this Atmos mix? And I'm like, absolutely, because I always love new things, trying new things, and I just thought that kind of movie also would be amazing in this format. So it was a real honor to be able to work with this material and turn it into an Atmos mix from all the material that they gave us. The movie had been mixed already, and they had a 5.1 mix. And so what we wanted to do was try to stay as close as possible to the original mix, but yet make it play the best that it possibly could in this Dolby Atmos format. I was a little leery of doing too much in the surrounds because I'm one of those people who think that, if I hear something in the back, I find it a little distracting, and here we have all these additional speakers in Dolby, but it didn't take long until I was convinced that this is really something different. And I think a lot of it stems from the fact that you're not putting something like all the way back or all the way up front or filling out the whole side. You can really place things. You can pull something off the screen just a little bit. You can move it to the side a little bit. You can pull it back halfway, however far you want to go. And so you're not limited to something that's really going to pull you out of the movie, but you can actually make it to enhance the movie more. And the first thing I noticed is when we started pulling things off the screen just a little bit, the clarity of what was there just really popped out. So now, instead of things kind of getting mashed together and you're always fighting to get the clarity in the soundtrack, now you have these other speakers. You can spread things out a little bit and have more detail and more information, and it just sounds so much crisper and cleaner, and you hear more of all of the work that went in from the mixers and the editors and everybody involved in the soundtrack. You hear more of their work the way it was, I think, meant to be. I think aside from the fact that Taken 2, we had these virtual elements, so it lent itself from the way it was prepared more to us being able to do a really good Atmos mix on it. Also, just the material itself, the program material, the movie itself, lends itself because there's things moving around you all the time. And there's an incredibly exciting car chase, one of the most exciting car chases I've seen in a long time. And when these cars are speeding by you and going around you, it really gives you the feeling that you're right there. And it gives you, again, much more detail and definition in everything that's happening around you, and really just sort of amps up the excitement level of everything that's going on. And one of the things we did, which was pretty interesting, I think, is for the hero gun, for Liam's gun, they were already mixed so that the guns pretty much take up a lot of speakers, because it's a normal thing. Whenever you're shooting a gun, you want the guns to see big and full, so you have a lot of speakers going. So, but for Liam's gun, to differentiate the hero a little bit, put a little bit in the overheads of his gun as well. So it just feels that much bigger and more impactful when he's firing off a few of his rounds. I think the learning process of using the Dolby Atmos was pretty straightforward because the tools are the tools that we've always used, the panners, and they did a great job in making it such that any mixer will be familiar with the tools that you use. I think the challenge in using the Dolby Atmos format is to figure out how you're going to use this new tool. It's almost like, an artist with a new canvas or a new color, a new type of brush. How are you going to use this new tool? Because now you have all of this information you can specifically address everywhere, and you can get more clarity in it. And so it's always a question of how are you going to use this to enhance the storytelling? Because I always take it back to the story and the experience of watching the movie. We'll be able to use it even more because I think there's a learning process in the audiences on when they watch movies. And I think early on there were almost no cuts in movies. Now we have these rapid edits, and I think you have to learn, audiences have to learn how to interpret that. And right now we're bringing stuff off the screen, we're making things more exciting, but I think over time people might be willing to accept even more sort of enveloping type of sound, and to envelop the audience even more. I think we will see even more use of the system as people get used to this as a storytelling tool.